U.S. Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis arrives in Beijing Tuesday, kicking off his three-day visit to China. It's Mattis's first visit to China as Pentagon chief, and he says he's going into talks with Chinese officials without any preconceived notions. Mattis arrives in the region with an agenda to denuclearize the Korean Peninsula, and after the U.S. withdrew an invitation for China to participate in naval exercises in the Pacific. Our correspondent Nathan King has more from Washington.
The U.S. Defense Secretary criticized China's military behavior in the South China Sea. Then shortly afterwards, the U.S. flew B-52 strategic bombers over contested waters and stepped up so-called freedom of navigation operations. This followed the disinviting of China to the Rim of Pacific exercises, the world's largest naval maneuvers. Chinese officials have warned that any stepped-up engagement with Taiwan would also be, quote, a red line. So amid these rising tensions, it's perhaps no surprise that James Mattis is now talking softly while still carrying a big stick.
I'm going there to get what I consider to be straight from them, what they see for a strategic relationship. And so I want to go in right now without basically poisoning the well at this point, as if my mind's already made up. I'm going there to have a conversation.
The visit also comes at a critical time for diplomacy over the Democratic People's Republic of Korea's nuclear and ballistic missile program. The Singapore summit was big on promises but short of the details for denuclearization. Washington will need Beijing's help in the weeks and months to come. China has also welcomed the decision to postpone U.S. military exercises with South Korea to give diplomacy a chance to work. But away from the Korean Peninsula, China will be looking for assurances that the U.S. is not taking sides in the South China Sea disputes and not violating Washington's long-standing one China policy by increasing defensive ties with Taiwan. This will also be the first visit to Beijing by a U.S. Secretary of Defense since the U.S. officially labeled China an adversary along with Russia. Mattis will also visit allies South Korea and Japan before returning to Washington. Nathan King, CGTN, Washington.